When there's no clear dominance between elements, they compete with each other. And when they compete with each other, we have a hard time focusing on things. Here's Apple's stock app. There's a ton of contrast here all over the place between the white text and the black background, between the green text and the black background, between the red text and the black background, between the red buttons, seemingly buttons, and the green buttons. Okay? Everything is competing with everything else in that top row for your attention. Without a dominant element on screen, users have to work very hard to find their own entry port. Now they're trying, in this case, to highlight one stock, right? By that lighter gray border that highlights the Apple stock. The problem here is that's not enough. That is not enough to clearly separate that row from everything else. There's no dominance here. That's a very subtle signal, and all that does is add more visual noise. It doesn't clarify. It just adds another element for the eye to contend with. Here's another example. Macy's. Everything is red. Everything is red on black with white text. All these things compete with each other. Nothing is important here. Even the ad below, the Webbusters piece, is competing with the sales message at the top. The one-day sale is competing with your navigation. It's all the same. All right, it all runs together. There's no dominance here. Everything is equally important. Everything is screaming for attention. And because the degrees of contrast, the ratio of positive to negative elements, everything here is consistent all the way through. It's all the same. So there's no dominance in that layout. What's important about all this is the fact that we are wired as human beings to conserve effort. That means the least amount of work to us is what we're going to do. And that least amount of work may be moving on to another design, another screen, another site, another app. The lack of dominance is a large part of what causes people to abandon things after hitting one single screen. They get there, they go, okay, I don't even know where to start with this. They may think that consciously, they may think it subconsciously. In either case, when there's no clear dominance, when there's no clear flow, when there's no clear hierarchy, people bail. I'm not doing this, it's too complex. And again, they won't be able to explain it in those terms. They'll just say, it's too busy. Did you ever hear that? Layout's too busy. That's what that means. It doesn't mean there's too many things. It means that there is no clear dominance. So how can we make the area of focus more dominant? How can we move this into the realm of clear hierarchy? Well, by doing this. Okay, whatever I highlight is the thing that I am trying to focus on as a user. So when I highlight something, why not darken everything else? You see the difference? That instantly creates a dominant element. I am looking squarely at the thing that I just touched. Everything else doesn't go away completely because in this instance, we're looking at stocks. So the context is important, or at least on some level, being able to sort of see surrounding information is important, which is why we didn't get rid of it completely. And like the other redesigns that I've showed you so far, this is subtle. It's a tiny little change. It doesn't require a whole lot of effort, but it pays a big dividend. How do we do that with the Macy's layout, right? This is even more complex, even more going on here. Well, again, it's really not that hard. If we make some changes to how we treat things, if we get rid of the separation between that top nav bar and the ad at the top, the limited time savings are just a tap away, keep them all in a consistent background, okay? Make a rule that says, here's how this works. There's always just text. It's all a red background. It reads as one element. And for the store, in terms of their strategy, their business strategy, their purpose, this is the most dominant element, or should be the most dominant element on the page, because what do they want you to do? They want you to buy. So that limited time savings message and that shop now button are the things that they absolutely want to call your attention to first. Red, black, and white is the most contrast you can ever get with any color combination. It's unbeatable. So to do that at the top as one single element is an absolute win. There's nothing on this screen that's ever going to be stronger than that. What maintains its dominance is the fact that the navigation items are all grayed out. Forget about the red, okay? So that it's not as important as the stuff above it. It's still there, it's still visible, it's still obvious, it still really comes forward, it's clear. But it's not competing with the area of intended dominance, with the area of primary focus. Same thing with the ad below. Instead of that big stark white background, which screams to the eye, hey, look at me, it's still there. There's still a lot of contrast. You can still see it. The Shop Now button stands out nicely from that black background, but there isn't so much contrast that it screams for your attention. Okay, do you see the difference? We go from an area of absolute dominance, and then we step it down as we go through things. The offer is of primary importance. The navigation is of secondary importance. The ad, the Webbusters ad, and the ads below it are of tertiary importance. You establish order by starting with a dominant element.